Hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt, and today we're talking about ads and how to use Claude Code to actually make some really cool tools that will work with your VSL funnel. So if that sounds exciting to you, smash the like button. I'm going to show you some cool stuff. All right, so first up, why are we using Claude Code? Well, Claude Code is blowing up with popularity right now because this thing is really good at making code. Pretty simple, right? I'm using not so much the web interface, I'm using the VS Code software, which is really, really good. I'll talk more about that in a moment. But for now, we need to figure out what it is that we're going to make first, okay? And this is always the fun part for me. So I like to do this with my ad clients where they might have an offer running. This is just my favorite keyword tool here. They'll have an offer running, and what they're doing is they're sending people to some kind of landing page. Usually it's cold traffic going to a landing page. They lose a lot of people, and then those people bounce, and then they lose their ad spend, right? So I advocate for doing a slightly different strategy where we're doing multiple ads on the platform itself, using that as the VSL, and then we're sending people to something that's valuable that helps them immediately. So instead of sending them to an opt-in page, we're actually going to send them to something that we code right now. So this is the fun part, okay? So we're just going to go in here for some ideas, and then I'll make an example for you, okay? So this is calculator.net. And calculators work really well with this kind of stuff because they're simple to make, they're very valuable, and if you're trying to get it ranked on Google, there's the perk of that too is usually you can get something ranked pretty easily. So we're in here just looking for some ideas, and obviously it depends on the kind of business that I'm working with. I have to create something that obviously is directly correlating to the business. But for now, let's just try to find something. So mortgage payoff calculator, right? We can see that this gets a ton of traffic, 47,000 searches a month, very low competition, right? And they have one of these already. So let's take a look at what they've got. Calculator.net. Okay, so we've got original loan amount, original loan term, interest rate, remaining term, how many years, repayment options, and then it gives you all these the table here where we can actually see like when the interest is paid off and when the balance starts going down and all that cool stuff. So that's pretty awesome. And then they give you unpaid principal balance. Okay, it's pretty comprehensive, right? So what we can do is we can actually kind of copy this. Now, I'm not advocating that you do a direct copy. Do not do that. But we can go to ChatGPT real quick, or hell, we're using Claude. So we could say, hey, Claude, I want to make a similar but different calculator. Trying to find a blue ocean strategy for it. Please take a look at this page's content. Now I'm going to paste that in. I'm also going to give it the URL just in case it wants to actually look at it itself, okay? So we're just going to see what it says. Okay, so this is what it does well, right? So blue ocean strategy, by the way, just means that we're trying to find our own path where we're not directly competing with these guys and their calculator, right? Because we're not going to be able to compete with them. Even though I showed you how easy it is to rank for that keyword, we're still not going to really be able to outrank them. So not that that's my focus, but anyway. Okay, so what can I actually afford to pay extra? Mortgage payoff, okay. All this good stuff. Okay, let's say we want to go for number 2. Let's pretend that I'm working with a business that is doing real estate investment. So let's pick number 2. Number 2 sounds great. Can I get some instructions for Claude Code to make it? Now it's going to go to work. It's going to lay out the instructions for us, right? Again, we're doing a blue ocean strategy here. Excellent. And this stuff works really well with value bombs. So that's part of my ad strategy is when I'm running ads on Meta, I will offer to give away something for free. And I use that kind of as bait to spark a conversation with people and to kind of get people chatting with me and stuff. And it works really, really, really well. So let's do this. Copy. Now Claude Code. And you literally write in, I have some instructions for a mortgage payoff calculator. Please make it in, let's just see what it, let's do please make it in HTML. That way we could just view it together. Paste, go. Oh, it wants me to connect it to GitHub. Let's do, I'm going to copy this. And let's go to VS Code because this is a way better way to do it anyway. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder together. So we're just going to do this, and we're going to call this test mortgage calc. Okay, right there. Now we can go in here, open folder, mortgage calc, open. Okay, and now I can literally click right here, and we're going to open up Claude Code, and we're just going to throw the kitchen sink at it. Okay, so it's going to do all of this. Please make it in HTML, and let's see how it does. Actually, let's not tell it what to make it in. Go to work. And it gets going. And why I really like Claude Code as opposed to Codex. So over here we've got Codex as well. That's an option. And I also have Gemini that I've been messing with too. Why this seems to be better is it will, first of all, it will literally lay out a full plan of what it's going to do to execute this. And then it's really good at holding in its memory all the instructions, and it's able to really like systematically go through everything where it's going to like ask me like, hey, can I do this? And I'll say yes. But it's going to really step through a very long list of instructions. And what's better about this than like Codex, by the way, is fabulous too, but Codex is a lot more limited in the instruction set that you can give it. It's not as good at doing a large task. So you really have to be good about boiling down the ask so that it's something bite-sized that it can do. And then once it does that, it usually does a pretty good job, but it's just not the same. This is pretty awesome because it literally is making its little checklist here. And why I like VS Code, why I like doing it in this as opposed to on the website. I like this because first of all, it's local on my computer. I could just fire it up and I can jump between projects really easily. It's a lot faster than using the website. And I like that I can literally do all my GitHub stuff right in here. So if you're a GitHub fan, you'd like to push things up. I'm not really a coder, so I'm starting to get into the pushing things to a repository, but I see the power of it. I understand why it's important to be able to iterate your projects. And yeah, I just really like this interface. This thing is absolutely killer. So while that works, yeah, see, it's already like doing some awesome stuff. So let's just see how we do here. Actually, while that works, I'm just going to put it to the side and I'll keep an eye on it. But I want to talk a little bit more about the ad strategy that I'm doing with this because I think it's going to help a lot of people. So let me see if I can pull up my my whiteboard. One second. Let's see. Sometimes it takes a minute to. Let's go to number 13 here. Can I do this? I can. Okay, perfect. So how I like to run this with my ads is I'll create an ad. And what a lot of people do on these platforms is they'll make one ad, but that's not really the strategy that is going to get you success. What works is by creating a system of ads that somebody's going to see repetitively. So like, for instance, if you've ever obviously been on social media, then you know that if you watch one video about like somebody hammering out horseshoes or something, right? All of a sudden you're going to see a lot of those videos over and over and over again. And the reason for that is because the algorithm literally knows what you are watching, right? It's saying this person likes, cars or hair products or, getting their nails done or whatever. And what it's going to do is it's going to start showing you more and more of that content because you're tuning into it, right? You're watching it, you're liking it, you're sharing it, all that good stuff. So it's literally like a decision engine that's trying to figure out what it is that you're consuming. And it's the same way both with organic posts and with the ads. And what a lot of advertisers don't do is they don't do this step here. So what they're doing is they're just sending people straight to a page, and then they're wondering why people, they might lose like if you're spending money on ads, you can be losing between like 10 and 20% of the people just on the page load alone, right? Maybe the page is slow. Maybe it's distracting and people are clicking away, right? So you're already down 20% by the time they get to the page. So think of it this way. You spent $100 on your ads, right? So you threw away $20 right there because you just lost some people, right? And then on the page, they might have an opt-in for like a VSL funnel, like a video sales letter, right? Where they want your email and then you can get access to the content. And you're probably going to only get about 20% of those people to opt in, right? So we're already talking about 80 people, and my brain's not working yet today, but 80 times 20, so you're only going to get 16 people to opt in. Okay, so you spent $100, you lost 20%, now you have 80 people on the page, only 20% of them opt in. Now you've got 16 people on your list, and then depending on how much content you have, you're going to start seeing diminished returns on this because with each step, people are going to fall off of the funnel, right? So you might end up with like, I don't know, best guess is 5 people at the end of this that are actually, looking at your product and maybe only one of them buys. So if you're trying to sell something that's like $20 or $50, you're going to be taking a bath with your ads because it's just not going to be profitable. So what I like to do instead is I run ads as a VSL funnel on the ad platform itself, right? So that way, when somebody watches my ad, it's going to start showing them more and more and more, right? So just think of it this way. They got my VSL without opting in. And what's beautiful about this is they might not be ready to buy here, which makes me sad. But over time, as they watch more and more of my content, guess what? By the time they get to the end of my conveyor belt, they are ready to buy. And it's so much more efficient with the money because if I'm putting in $100, I know I'm getting $100 worth of people watching my stuff. And don't get me wrong, I also do a different campaign as well. We do a little fancy retargeting thing and we're warming up some traffic. This is a double lead method where we're getting cold traffic in on both sides here. Sorry, I'm blocking everything. The idea here is that we're getting people on this conveyor belt where they're going from unsold to sold over time. I'm getting the full use of my $100 right here, and we're not losing anybody. And really, this is what the platforms want to see, is because we're keeping them on platform. And the longer that people are using these platforms, the more money that the big companies make. So that's kind of the idea here, that they are rewarding watch time the most because it's such a good metric for them. So anyway, end of spiel. Let's check out our calculator here. We're still going. All right, so let's let this thing run. It's got some work to do, and we'll come back. All right, looks like we're done. So we went through some trials and tribulations here. We've got a bunch of cool stuff. Let's try to get this up and running, and we'll try and test it out. All right, guys, this is pretty cool. Look at this. This is the first iteration, okay? So keep in mind, this is one time that I tried to do this. Now, think about this. If you sent somebody from your ad to something as valuable as this, where you can calculate what your mortgage is, the remaining terms, right? Extra month payments, it's going to tell you exactly what you can do, pay extra on the mortgage, or if you invested instead. I mean, lets you calculate expected return on investment, capital gains taxes, right? It gives you that graph we were talking about before. I mean, this is like awesome stuff. And this is the kind of thing that I try to teach my students, anybody that I work with their ads, is that if you're doing ads, if you have an offer already and you're making money with that offer and you're looking for that extra boost in your return on your ad spend, well, the strategy I laid out here with the watch time and the actual ads, coupled with creating an awesome value bomb, is a recipe for success. So Claude Code, awesome stuff. VS Code, big fan of that. And yeah, I hope you guys found this useful and helpful. If you did, drop a comment down below. Make sure you're subscribed, and thanks for watching.